Hey everybody, it is Kim Danger. I am doing our team call for Team Crazy Train tonight. So I'm not sure why that's got the big phone thing in there. Let's see, how can I make spotlight video? Oh, there we go. Okay, so tonight I wanted to talk to you guys about inviting, and if you're a new coach listening to this or participating, welcome aboard. We try to do these calls every week. Sometimes we miss a week. Oftentimes we switch our time from either 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I'm on Central Time, so if you're on Eastern Time, it might either be at 9 or 10, depending on who is hosting the call. So like I said, tonight we're going to talk about inviting, but first of all, I just had a couple little orders of business that I wanted to remind you guys of. First of all, Team Cup registration is open, and a lot of you guys have never participated in a Team Cup. So what it basically is we form mini competition groups. And when I say competition, it's totally friendly competition. It is a group of 5 people consisting of one diamond coach, and then the other coaches cannot have advanced to diamond rank yet. So if we've got diamonds, they will likely be working with new coaches and emeralds to provide them mentorship, ideas, support. We might have a few mini challenges going on in our Team Cup groups. The diamonds that are leading these groups, or in some cases emerald coaches will lead them, they are there to provide support and guidance. And there are prizes available, you guys, but that is not the main reason why we do it. There were some statistics about this, and I don't have them off the top of my head, but if you're serious about building your business, participate in Team Cup, because Beachbody did studies. The coaches that participated in Team Cup end up making like exponentially more money than those who don't. So like I said, if you want to advance your business, it is a no-brainer. Don't worry, don't be scared if you don't think that you're going to be bringing a lot of Success Club points to the table. Of course, that is the goal. Like, if you don't think that you're going to shoot for Success Club, this is probably not right for you, but we just ask that you do your best, whatever that may be, however you may define it. So if you're not on a Team Cup team yet, reach out to either your upline sponsor or check some of the threads that we have going on in our team groups, because I know that there are other people still looking for teams, and that will go on right up till the end of the month. It starts on February 1st. So it's a great opportunity. Like I said, you guys don't want to miss out on it. The other thing I want to mention is our team retreat, Team Crazy Train. Our retreat is coming up really, really soon. I'm getting so super excited because I did put the agenda on our Team Crazy Train page, but we do have some surprises in there. It'll be a really busy weekend, you guys, but we do have a little bit of downtime. If you're like me, you need that just to like regroup and kind of process everything that we've been doing. So I will be checking into my hotel room probably midday on Friday, getting everything set up and ready to go. And then I will just wait until checkout on Sunday. So I plan on being there the entire time. I guess I only need to know who will be there on Friday night for a head count so we can make a dinner reservation. But everything else, it's going to be kind of casual. We do have, like I said, we have some fun activities planned. I'm super excited for it, you guys. It will be camaraderie. It will be mentorship, and we'll do some awesome team building activities. But also we want to leave you guys with some awesome, solid takeaways so that you feel that this retreat will also benefit your business. So we will be talking about things like, just things that we're talking about tonight, like inviting, how to phrase things, and actually like giving you guys an action plan. One of the reasons why we're doing this vision board project is to get you guys to really think about your goals for this year, whether they're Beachbody related or not, and reverse engineer the strategies it will take to get there. So we can give you some solid takeaways, like say your goal is to be diamond. Well, do you know what that means? Do you know how many coaches you will need to get to diamond? Why does that mean anything to you? Is that just you're shooting for that because your upline sponsor said that's the next goal to go for. If that's the reason, if you don't have a really strong why, it won't motivate you to get there. So that's kind of the gist of what we're doing, and part of the reason why we're doing it early in the year, so that we can have these goals, and then we'll come together again at Summit, review, see how we've done, and then hopefully, we'll do it again next year, and after everyone's achieved all their wonderful goals, right? So with that, I'm going to dive right into the topic of inviting. And like I mentioned before I started recording, I'm going to hit the pause button on me just talking all the time to give you guys an opportunity to chime in and ask questions and offer feedback and suggestions. So I really want this call to be more of a conversation than a presentation. So the first thing I want to talk about is really wrapping your mind around the inviting process, because I think that's where a lot of people struggle. They feel like the word invite is salesy, and I don't even like to use the word invite. I prefer to use the word connect, form relationships, make new friends, however you want to think about it. I want you to not use the word invite if that word scares you. So let's use the word connect, because I really like that one. This job is all about expanding our social network and forming solid relationships. You guys, there's a reason why it's called network marketing, right? If you're not building your network, you will never succeed. So important. And most people lose out on that, or they miss that somewhere along the lines. So if you are relying on your current customer list or your current friends list to build your business, you will never advance. So I'll give you some tips later on about how to add to your friends list, but just know that those connections and building that network is what this is all about. Inviting comes later, and if you've done all the things that lead up to that invitation correctly, it will not be a big scary deal. It will come naturally and easily, and it won't feel like sales at all. So, okay. Another thing that I want to talk about mindset is another way you can think about it is online dating. And my husband's here. He's probably listening to me. I never had the pleasure or the pain, however you want to call it, of online dating, because I met my husband in 1989 in a barn. Yeah, we were at a keg party. So anyway, I never had to go through online dating, but I imagine if I did, you would not pop the question. You would not propose to somebody on the first date, right? You would have to take time to get to know them, to figure out if they are right for you, if their needs and your needs actually had a connection and you were compatible. So that's what the connecting point is, you guys. It is almost like the online dating of Beachbody. So it takes a lot of work to get up to that inviting process where you're not feeling salesy. Never, never do I want you to send cold invites. That's the technique or the tactic that gives network marketers such a bad reputation. So, okay, anyone have any questions up until this point? That was my first bullet point, was mindset. Does anyone want to share what inviting makes them feel like? Does that instill panic in your mind? Does that, how do you wrap your mind around that? Do you have a different way of thinking about it? Anyone that's helped you that maybe has been coaching in for a little while? They want to share? Destiny loves inviting. That's awesome, and congrats for going Emerald. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Very cool. So anyway, if nobody has any other comments, I will keep plugging along here. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was the forming process. So I'll talk about this first, and then let's see. I just want to make sure I'm not getting things out of order, because I wanted to talk about forming, and I also wanted to talk about adding to our friends list. So I'll talk about forming first. So the forming process is basically, it's an acronym. So FORM. It stands for family, occupation, recreation, and message. So this goes back to what I said about the online dating. You would not ask someone to marry you if you didn't know about their family, their occupation, what they like to do for free time or recreation. That is when you deliver your message. So it is the same thing with Beachbody coaching, you guys. The same thing with the inviting process. So I always feel like if you don't know those things about that person, you don't have the right to invite them because they won't have trust in you. It is premature, okay? You never want to pop the question too early. So I know that this probably takes a lot of time, and that's fine, because if you're in this business for the right reasons and have the intent to stick with it all year long and into 2018, it doesn't matter how long it takes, right? Because you will always have people to talk to. Okay, so with the forming process, I like to send at least 10 messages a day. And I think of them as conversations. I don't think of them as, invitations or anything like that. I'm connecting, I'm starting a conversation with somebody. So I don't want you guys to overthink this. Elizabeth mentioned in her live video that she just posted, I think we all overthink things. No, if you have a friend on Facebook and you're scrolling their page and you see something interesting, comment on it, ask them a question. And I don't want it to be anything related to Beachbody. We're in the process of forming a relationship here. So that has to be done before we invite. So here's a great technique you guys can look at to use when you're going through your forming process. It's comment, compliment, and question. So there's 3 things. And it's very helpful to go to someone's Facebook page and see what they posted. People like posting pictures of what they enjoy. So it might be pictures of their cute little kids or their skiing trip or their dog or whatever the case may be. So privately, I would do this privately. Comment on their, leave a comment. You could do this on their photo publicly if you want, but then follow up with a compliment and a question. So for me, and my cat is probably going to walk right by my screen. So anyway, if that happens, I'll just keep going. So anyway, I like clothes. So there she goes. Yep, I knew she would. So it would be easy for me to go on some of my friends' pages and say, oh my gosh, I love the boots you were wearing in this picture. And then maybe I'll send them a link to the photo so they know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'd say, where did you get them? Simple. I could do that all day long because I love clothes and I love shopping. So you have to think about what you love and what you would be looking at in someone else's Facebook feed that you would like to know about. It has to be a sincere question, you guys. If you don't really care about the answer, it's not going to work. So think about what struggles you're going through right now. It could be if you have toddlers and you're going through potty training or whatever the case may be. Find your friends that have gone through it before and say, I noticed that your daughter is 3 years old. Can I ask you a question? Has she been potty trained yet? And do you have any tips for me? I'm struggling with this right now. Just think of it as a conversation. So, this is pretty basic advice, you guys. I feel like I'm telling you how to talk to people, but that's my point. Don't overthink it. Just start conversations. So does anyone have any questions about that before I keep moving on? Nope. Okay.
Yes, one question here.
Oh, yes, go for it.
When you say you try to send 10 messages a day, you mean to 10 different people?
Yes, 10 different people. Yep. Okay. And this is all about making sure you are expanding your network, keeping that flow of conversations active, and always having people to draw upon when the time is right. So if you're talking to the same person and sending them 10 messages a day, it seems desperate and needy, right, you guys? So you want to do quick little messages more frequently than long conversations, okay? And it is so much more important to reach out to more people with smaller amounts of information rather than the other way around. Tons of people, you guys, quick little messages. And don't even mention Beachbody at first. It will come. We'll get to that. So a few more things that make inviting or the forming process really easy. Okay, is the Facebook birthday feature. We all have this. Everyone has a birthday. So instead of wishing them a happy birthday on their actual day when they get flooded with like 100 messages, go into your Facebook birthday list and look for upcoming birthdays. Send them a message the day before saying, I always forget to post Facebook birthday messages. I noticed your birthday's tomorrow. Just wanted to reach out and say have a great one or something like that. And then when they come back to you and say, oh, thank you, that was so sweet, which is what they normally do, which is what I would do, then you say, are you doing anything special to celebrate? Then you can start a conversation. No end game in mind. And I think that's another important point to make, you guys. When you're having these conversations, no end game. I don't want you to think, how can I convert this girl to a challenge pack sale? No, it doesn't work that way. If you have that in the back of your mind, you're going to project that energy of neediness and insincerity, and we don't want to do that. So like I said, as many people as you can, short, quick, tiny little messages. Okay, just reviewing my notes here. Okay, that's what I had on forming. Does that make sense to everybody?
And just a question on that, and those are to friends that you already have, right? Not
Yes.
Reaching out to kind of like friends of friends.
Exactly. Yes, this is existing friends. We'll talk about adding friends to our network in just a second here. Okay. So let's go on to adding new friends, since that's a natural segue. So what I was just talking about is people that are already part of your friends list. So let's talk about how do we add new people to our friends list? Because like I said, we're in network marketing. We have to be expanding our network if we want our business to grow. So, okay, someone's line isn't muted. Okay. Let's see. Okay, found it. Okay, so super easy way to expand your Facebook network is to use the suggested friends feature. And what I do is I look for people that I have something in common with, usually moms with kids about the same age. If we've got more than like 10 or 15 friends in common, then I usually just hit add, I send them a friend request. And I personally do not reach out to them right away unless I have a reason to. I know a lot of other coaches do. They'll say, thanks for the ad, thanks for adding me, that kind of thing. You can do something like this too. I have said before, it looks like we have so many mutual friends. I feel like I know you, just thought I would add you. Thanks for the ad. Something like that. And it really depends on what you're comfortable with. I do frequently add friends that I don't follow up with right away. And that's okay too, because we'll get to the reason why a little bit later too, because then we'll talk about putting yourself out on social media and that whole attraction marketing. That's another really good, strong reason why it's important to expand your friends list without messaging everybody, because you will be putting out posts on your Facebook profile that hopefully will draw them in and get them liking and commenting on what you have to say. So if you're just simply consistent in adding 3 to 5 friends a day to your network, you guys, I did the math and I'm not good at math. I used a calculator. In 1 year, you will have 1,000 to 1,800 new friends on your Facebook list that are potential customers. So I love this quote. If you're not consistent, you're non-existent. And that is so true in social media. I think it was Michael Hyatt mentioned that in one of his books, but I think he was quoting someone else. So I'm not sure where that quote comes from. But it's so important to be consistent with your social media and your adding of the friends list. And that is just proof of that. If you add 10 friends a day, oh my gosh, then your Facebook, then you're at 3,000 friends in a year, you guys. So think of it long term. Don't think of the big scary mountain. Think of it step by step and be consistent daily. Another great technique to find new friends is, and this is great because I love this, it goes along with attraction marketing and finding people that fit the mold of people that you want to hang out with, people that you click with. is just to look for support groups on Facebook with whatever you are dealing with, whatever you're interested in. I just, and I don't use this too often. I'm lucky that right now at the stage in my business, I have a lot of people coming to me, and that's where I would hope that you would end up eventually if you do this. But in the beginning, I was forming a lot of relationships through groups. I had frugal living groups. I started a clean eating group because I didn't want to wait for a group to like, make friends. I was like, I'm just going to create my own, which is another great option, you guys. I would make sure that if you do start a group, that you can provide enough content that you are able to stay consistent with it. Because if you start a group and you post once in a while and you go MIA for like weeks upon end, weeks upon weeks, days on end, it will not work. So if you can't do something consistently, don't do it yet. And when I say yet, it's baby stepping in this business. So work up to that. Don't go and do it tonight because I told you to do it. Do it because it's the right reason for you. So groups are great, especially support groups, because people love to give advice. They love to help others. They like to be perceived as the one that knows it all. So if you find a support group of something that you're interested in fact, I just requested to join one for new vegans because I'm doing this cleanse and I'm seriously considering the vegan lifestyle, maybe not on a permanent basis, but at least for a while this year. So I requested to join this vegan group because I have a lot of questions about it, and that's a great place for me to go ask those questions. And if someone stands out as being super helpful and someone that I click with, damn straight I'm going to send them a friend request, right? Like that's what we do. And then if they accept, then you can just say, thank you, I really appreciate all your advice. You've been super helpful, blah, blah, blah. So there's the compliment. Then you can end with a question too. How long have you been a vegan? Something like that. That gets the conversation going. So let's talk a little bit about Facebook like pages too, because I feel as if you're really struggling with your cold market and expanding into getting new friends and really tapping into your niche. A like page is a valuable tool. Just know that you guys, you will have to invest in that. But I'm a firm believer that if I can spend $20 and get $30 back, of course I'm going to do it, right? So this is a business. We are in this to earn money, but sometimes you have to spend money to earn money. And Facebook is definitely, the like pages are pay to play. You got to pay people. But if you do it strategically and you do it in the right way, you will get your money back. So if you have a Facebook like page, and just know too, you don't have to run ads on your Facebook page. I haven't done that recently. I did that a little bit last fall. Experimented a little bit. That's something I would like to get more into this year. But you can also build organic traffic on your Facebook like page. Just know that you will probably only reach a small percentage of the people that actually like your page. I think the stat is like 3 to 5%. So if you have 100 likes, probably 3 people might see it, which can be really depressing, but those numbers compound. So 100, build it to 1,000, then 10,000. So my group is approaching 10,000 after 3 years in the business. So of course, even though still only 3 to 5% are seeing my post, that's a much larger number than it used to be. Again, consistency over time is what builds this business. So with my like page, I try to share things of value, things that will entertain, things that will inform. And I also like to engage, because the more people like, comment, and share those posts, the higher your organic reach will be. So if you post something and it goes viral, you get tons and tons of shares, you're going to get a lot of exposure. If people share something on their personal page, and they love doing this with recipes, you guys, my mom does it all the time. She'll instead of saving a recipe somewhere, she'll just save it to her page. And I know a lot of people do this. So recipes are great. If people like it, they will often share it to their page. Then everybody in their feed sees it. So you want to think strategically like that and post things that you know are going to get shared. Also, post things you know people will comment on, where you're asking their opinion. I did one the other day about some cookbooks that I was interested in. I put a little graphic up of, oh gosh, you guys can see I did like the fake tan. My hands are orange. So anyway, I did like a little graphic of 1, 2, 3, 4 of the books. And I said, does anyone have these books? I'm looking for opinions. Do you like one more than the other? So of course, you're going to get opinions with that. That's going to boost engagement. And then it gives you something to comment back on. You always want to put people in a position where if they're commenting, you can create a two-way conversation with them. It's not all about broadcasting. It's not all about, oh, look at me. I'm not going to talk to you, but look at how cool I am. No, it's about, like I said, I feel like I'm a broken record, forming relationships. You can't do that unless you engage with people. Let's see what else I have on here. Okay, talked about groups, like page. Also, feel free, if you do have a like page, to share your own content to your personal page. I do that a lot. Or other groups that you're in, other friends' timelines, things like that. You can hit the share button on your like page and send that message or that post anywhere you want it to go on Facebook, which is a great way to expose your like page to a whole bunch of new people. You can also go through the list of people that like a post and invite them to your page if they haven't done so already. So I'm trying to think of the best way to explain that. You have to click on, the bar where it has like the heart and the thumbs up and the sad face, and they used to just have the thumbs up. If you click on that, it will show you who did each one, and then next to it, it will say invited or liked or invite to page. So it basically gives you a status of their relationship with your page. It will tell you if they've liked it, if they've been invited and their invitation is pending, or if they have not been invited yet. So every post that I do, if someone likes and comments on it on my like page, I'll make sure that every one of those interactions ends up with an invitation if there hasn't been one already. You can also go and comment on brand pages. Say you like Lululemon or whatever, and you go to their page and you see that there's a conversation going on. Hop right in on that conversation, give your own opinions, ask questions. Like I said, asking questions is a great way to engage because people like to be the expert. So you can do that on like pages. You can do that on your friends' pages, friends of friends, all that kind of good stuff. If your friends get involved, I would stay away from the political debates a little bit just because you don't want to alienate yourself from, half of whatever political party, Our country is pretty much split evenly, so you don't want to alienate half of your market. So be careful with that, but opinion posts are really good for generating engagement too. Just don't alienate everybody. So that's kind of what I had about inviting people on Facebook. You can do the same thing on Instagram, you guys, with just commenting and engaging and liking. And I don't feel as well equipped to speak to Instagram because I'm still learning it. I do want to tell you about a service called Instagress, though. It's INSTAGRESS. And what's cool about that is it automates the process for you. You input the hashtags of people or topics that you want to follow, and it will automatically do the liking and commenting for you. And you have to be a little bit careful with the comments because you have to keep it really general, like nice or good or way to go or things like that. And it will just automatically, a bot will put that on there. So you don't want to have the wrong comment, way to go. It would totally not be appropriate for someone who posted about having a sucky day, So I try to keep my posts or my comments really general, or, maybe just a smiley face or something like that. Okay, opening it up for questions, talking about how to add to your friends list. Did this give you guys some new ideas? Okay, Destiny wants to know paying for the Facebook stuff. So what I did, I had a post last year that did really, really well, and it was a meal planning post. I don't boost. I go into the Power Editor on Facebook because that gives you a little bit more control over your ads and your budget. And I like to test things out and see if I can find a winner. And for me, a winner is an ad that I can run for under 10 cents an engagement. And for me, my engagement factor with that was I wanted a click through to my website. And I was paying 4 cents a click, which is pretty low. And I ended up with like tons of people that I could invite to my like page because that post was getting shared over and over and over again. People were commenting on it. I think it would have done well had I not done that. And I saw that it was doing well before I paid to boost it. And I use boost loosely because I didn't hit the boost button. I actually created an ad for it. Yeah, you say you can see like 600 people seeing your post, but only if you like it. Well, I wouldn't, if they're seeing it, that's great. I would ask you or challenge you to a call to action. Are you asking them to comment below? Are you asking for their opinion? Are you doing something that will prompt engagement? Because there has to be a purpose behind your post. Recipes get shared. For me, that's the purpose of posting as a recipe, is I want it to get shared. Another strategy you can do with a recipe is post like a mouth-watering picture of something you made and wait for people to ask for the recipe. They'll be like, oh, this looks great. Can you share the recipe? And I know it seems a little bit manipulative to do it that way, but that just, of course I'm going to share the recipe, but that gives me a chance to see who really wants it, and then I can respond to them personally. Let's see. Matt, guess what? You'll find people you know just a little warmer than cold market. Yes, totally. People, if you have friends in common, they're way more likely to trust you and not think you're a creeper. So anyway, my last point, what was my last point here? Oh, I had some do's and don'ts about actually, we've talked about forming and we've talked about adding to our friends list. We haven't talked a lot about the actual invite. So it's important to note, you guys, that there will be a natural segue where invitations don't feel weird and creepy. And I think Megan said something about feeling weird, and I think that's what she was getting at. I wasn't quite sure what she meant by inviting without it feeling weird. But if it makes you feel weird, don't do it, is my advice. Then focus your energy on building your friends list and spreading your network out a little wider and having more conversations. Because if it's done right, it won't feel weird. There will be a natural segue. There will be a natural in. They will ask you about how you've been, about what you're doing. Oh, you look so great, and then that's a natural segue. I feel great. I've been doing the ultimate reset. Have you heard of it? And always back and forth, you guys. Do not word vomit. Yes, okay, don't word vomit, you guys. And by that, I mean, someone asks you one question, what's the 21-day fix? And you're like, oh, it's great. I love it. It comes with containers and a DVD, and you get a free trial to Beachbody On Demand, and me as your coach, and do you want to buy a challenge pack? Do you want to join my group? That's word vomiting. You can say, if they ask you, what's the 21-day fix? You can say, oh, it's one of my favorite programs. How have you heard about it? Then they come back to you. Oh, I saw an infomercial on TV. And then you say, oh, that's great. Yeah, I've seen those infomercials too. That's one of my favorite programs. I did it last year and loved it. And then they will come back. And it's a back and forth. A general guideline is if they ask you one question, don't answer more than they ask you. So if they ask you, I'm trying to think of a hypothetical here. Do you like the workout program that you're doing right now? You can say, yes, it's great. I love it because, and then you always end that with a question back to them. That's how conversations work. So I feel like the problem that a lot of new coaches have is they try to deliver a sales pitch instead of have a conversation. And that is really what it comes down to, you guys, is we are not pitching anything. We are not salespeople. We are coaches. We're here to help and support and get to know people and support them in their journeys. So don't word vomit. Another thing too, if we're going to talk a little bit about the general broadcast posts that you post on your timeline or on your like page, don't use stock photos. I just about like, oh my gosh, it happens a lot, and it happens with a lot of new coaches. They grab like a clip art piece of the containers from the 21-day fix, and they're like, hey, join my challenge group. Don't do that. Make it personal. Make it relatable, and really tap into what the programs made you feel like, not their features. They don't care that, you know, the challenge pack comes with this, that, or the other thing. They want to know why you like it and how it made you feel. That's what sells, you guys. Emotion is what sells. The product features, don't get into that, okay? If they want to know that stuff, they'll ask you. They want to know how it worked for you. And if you don't have a success story, share how it worked for a teammate or someone in your downline or in a challenge group or whatever. Share someone else's real story. Beachbody already does all the advertising for us, so we don't need to be ads. We are that missing link. We are the human side of this. We are not the salesy side. So those are my don'ts. Don't word vomit. Don't use stock photos. Don't overthink, which I mentioned already. So now I want to talk about the do's. Do mention the benefits and how the products make you feel, not the features. I already mentioned that one. Another thing in your invitations, do use third-party tools and testimonials. And what I mean by that is it's great to share your own story, but don't hesitate to share a video when it comes to explaining it. You don't want to be the salesperson. I use this line a lot when I'm sharing like the 21-day fix and people are asking about it. I pull up that corny, cheesy 2-minute or 3-minute infomercial that they have on YouTube, and with a disclaimer, because I think it's cheesy and corny, I'll say, here's a corny video, but it does a really good job explaining it. And then I'll say, give it a watch and then let me know what questions you have. So that's a third-party tool. And if you don't have your own success story or testimonial, share one of someone close to you. Could be, like I said, it could be a coach or someone in your downline, a challenger. Always be collecting testimonials from your challenge groups, because people they'll want to know that you're not the only one that feels that way. It's great that we're all passionate about what we do, but let's show people that we're not the only ones. So that's a really important technique in converting people to a challenge pack sale. So yeah, just use your own stories. Get as personal as you can. Do make it emotional, you guys, because emotion is what sells. People don't really care what the price of something is if they see the value behind it. And it's our job to show them the value. And the value isn't in the products. It is in what we do, how our groups make people feel, how the programs get us results, and what that means in our life. Like Jill is a perfect example of this. Jill, I'm going to put you on the spot. You don't have to talk if you don't want to, but look at the big life changes that Jill has experienced in the last year since going through a Beachbody program. That, like, people don't care about the containers. They want to know her story, you guys, because that is so much more compelling than a sales pitch. Am I right? If you guys don't know Jill's story, I'm not going to go into it tonight. She'll be on our retreat and she can tell us more then, and she's a rock star. We are still going to get you to win that money, Jill. You deserve that Beachbody challenge win. We're going to do that. We're going to work on that at the retreat too. So that's a little side note. And another thing, the last thing that I want to leave you with the do's is do track your business, you guys. You have to do this. You have to. And I did not track my business my first year. My first year, I lost out on so many potential sales because I would forget to follow up on these conversations. Sure, I was having a lot of conversations on Facebook, but if you're not consistent, if you start a great conversation with Melissa down the street and you forget to contact her for 7 months, then you're inconsistent. So you want to keep that ball rolling. If you're just doing random conversations, I would say every 3 months is a good time to follow up with these people. And what I like about Teamzy is it will set reminders. You can set reminders on when to follow up with them, because some of these conversations are going to be a little bit more urgent than others. Some you might get a feeling like, oh, this is going nowhere fast. I'm not going to follow up with them for a long time. Other ones you could say, oh, I'm really planting a seed. Maybe I'll follow up with them in 3 weeks instead of 3 months. So that is super important too. I'm trying to think of what else I was going to say here about tracking. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, maybe it'll come back to me later. Okay, so that's all I had, you guys. We can open it up for questions. I did not get into inviting to the coaching opportunity yet. That could be a totally separate call. But I wanted to cover the basics of inviting simply because so many of us have challenge groups opening up on Monday, and the weekend is a great time to invite, especially Sunday afternoon, evening. People are feeling flabby. They've overindulged over the weekend. They're like, oh my gosh, I need to do something. So Sunday night is a great night for that. I also seem to catch a lot of people on Saturday morning. Could just be my market. But yeah, Jill confirms. People want to hear about the 143 pounds. That is so amazing. Yeah, they want to know your story, Jill. So you're a testament to that. And okay, I have to tell you guys too, you don't need a huge transformation like Jill, because let's face it, most of us did not start out with over 100 pounds to lose. No matter how small your transformation is, it's still your story. Your story could be an inner transformation. It could be what the personal development did for your life. It could be something quick. Like if you need one in a hurry, do the 3-day refresh. Oh my gosh, that is a great one for a quick transformation. People love seeing those before and after pictures. Document it. Ultimate Reset, you guys. I am loving that program. I'm on day 11. I thought it was going to be super scary. It's not. So you bet your ass I'm going to be telling everybody about this program because I love it. I can't wait to get my before and I have my before pictures, but I can't wait to do my afters because I really didn't even think that I would have that much of a transformation. But I lost 4 pounds in my first week, which for me is huge because I don't have that much to lose. So anyway, that's all. That's all I have. Anyone have questions or want to make any comments? This is your chance. You're welcome, Megan and Destiny. Nobody? Okay, so I want to issue a challenge to you guys because it is 8:44 and normally our calls go until 9 p.m. So I'm going to log off and give you 15 minutes to send out 10 conversation starters. Can you guys all do that? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, got it? We got 15 minutes to rock it. And then I want you to leave some kind of comment in our team page or Team Crazy Train or whatever. If you're in Coach Basics in that group, just let us know that you did it, okay? Let us know how it went, okay? That's your accountability assignment for the night. Okay, everybody, have a great night. Thanks for listening. Go get to it. Bye.